Panasonic Cup day at Sha Tin this Saturday afternoon. Welcome into Racing to Win. We've got it previewed for you right here on the show. And the feature race comes up as race number 7. Joined in the studio today by our guests in Paul Lally and Nick Child, and using the Panasonic remote to turn the boys on. Nick, what can we look forward to?
Well, plenty to look forward to, Mark. Yeah, for sure. The feature race looks like a really competitive race. Looking forward to seeing John Sizes pair make their seasonal reappearances. And if you want to know more about warm jars, speed ovens and thermal ventilators, well, stay with us till Saturday.
Absolutely right. We've got it all for you on Saturday between races as well. And there's some jackpots, Paul, so we'll turn you right up for this.
Surprised that you know how to use that. Yeah, I've got a couple of really good jackpots here to talk about. The first one, the Triple Trio, that should get over the 10 million mark. Also, the 6-up win bonus should get over the 4 million mark. If that's not enough money floating around, there's $1 million going into the quartet first 4 merge pools in races 6 and 10.
Being from New Zealand, they still have black and white televisions over there. That's for you. All right, meeting details. We need to crack straight into it for this Saturday afternoon. We're on the A+3 and all on the turf. First race, 1 o'clock the feature. It gets underway at 4:05. One of 2 races we preview on the show, the other being the 9th, the Class 3 over the 1,200 metres. There it is, the Class 1, 1,400 metres of the Panasonic Cup, and Tukula's first up. He has won 2 from 3. Circuit Stella's been in group racing his last 2. Red Lion is back. Sylvester's a 3-time course and distance winner. Attila Bagil comes into Class 1 for the first time, as does Find My Love and Dancing Code. He's a horse that has won a couple of times at Happy Valley, having his second start over the 1,400 metres. But first, it's time now to welcome our special guest.
O-liner keeps kicking here. This has been a bold front-running performance. They won't catch him. O-liner, a great 4-way go. Valhalla, Multimore, the good deal. And the good deal will win over Valhalla. The good deal, Luke Ferraris and Douglas White. It's Ferraris and Newnham. They go race to race. Mission Bravo just, but he had to earn it over Lucky Banner. Happy Trio, too good for either Region Glory or Exuberant. Happy Trio, Luke Ferraris and Douglas White.
Surprisingly, here's the man himself. Luke Ferraris joins us. Luke, thanks for your time on Racing to Win. Know you love doing these interviews.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you very much for having me.
8 wins for the season so far. Is there one of those 8 wins where you thought yourself, gee, I rode that one very well? Is there a standout victory amongst them?
I'm not too sure. It's a pretty tough question. There's been a couple long-priced ones that I've had that I thought had nice rides. O-Line, I think, was one of them. It was good to get a double on the board for Mark Newnham. So each win's been special in its own way.
Are you happy with where the season's at the moment? Obviously, 8 wins, every jockey wants more. Are you happy with how things are going?
I am. I think for the horse I've been getting on, the results have been pretty good. I'm ticking along at a okay strike rate. As you said, we always want to do better. I think for 82 rides and 8 winners, it's pretty good. It could be worse, could be better, but I'm happy.
Speaking of happy, you've got quite a good record around Happy Valley. You seem to be riding that circuit very well.
Yeah, it's been very good to me of late. I've had some nice opportunities there. Myself and Douglas have struck up quite a good partnership at the Valley, and hopefully long may continue.
When you're mid-table, like plenty of other jockeys, how hard is it to get rides and to keep rides with horses you think next time this is going to win, and then the trainer goes for someone else? Is that a real knock to your confidence, or something you learn to live with here in Hong Kong?
Well, I think it's the harder part is to get the good quality rides and the rides with good chances. It's easy to fill a book up, but getting the ones with real good chances is probably tougher. And like you said, when one does start to come into form, keeping the ride when it's ready to win is probably the toughest part. But I think it sort of comes with the territory of Hong Kong, and it is a tough place. No one's under any illusion to that, but you put up with it and you keep going, and big wheel, and it will turn you'll turn your way eventually.
Luke, I'm not sure if you look up to anyone in particular. Obviously, you are very much your own man and your own style of jockey. But Your record, you mentioned it there with Douglas White, 3 winners this season from only 4 rides. You grew up here in Hong Kong. How special is it to be riding winners for someone like Douglas White? Because I imagine that from a young age, you've probably looked up to someone like him.
Yeah, I've got to pinch myself occasionally because, like you said, we grew up watching him. He's obviously been someone I've looked up to most of my life. From that little green fence that we walked through, getting onto Sha Tin, sitting on there as a young kid, pestering him for his whips that he was going to throw away or any sort of piece of gear that he was going to get rid of, to then pestering him for rides. It's a bit surreal, but I've loved every minute of it.
Luke, you're actually still the youngest jockey in the jockeys room. Is that something that's lost on you? It's something you don't think about and gives you a pretty good future going forward, the fact that you're still so young?
It's never in the back of my mind. It's never an excuse that I'd ever go to. I don't think, I wouldn't want to use it as an excuse anyway, because if I would want to ride in a big race, I wouldn't want the trainer using an excuse not to put me on. I prefer, my riding to hopefully do most of the talking, and display my maturity on the racetrack. So it's never been something that I've used in any sort of way.
One of your better rides on the weekend is Silvestre, Luke. You've obviously got a good affinity with this horse. You've already won on him. What's the plan for the Panasonic Cup? There doesn't look like too much pace in the race. He's happy out in front?
Yeah, I think he is happy out in front. He definitely settles better, I think, when he is in the front. He tends to prick his ears and actually come back to you and switch off quite nicely. But in saying that, if Circuit Stella did want to go and set the fractions, he can. He has one from the one-off spot, so he's got no issue with that. It all depends on how we break. I'd be more than happy to take it up. He's got a nice galloping weight on his back, which he hasn't had for a while. So I think he's a bit versatile in that sense.
He must have really improved between those first 2 runs, Luke. There was only a beaten margin last time of 1.5 lengths as opposed to 8 3/4 first up. So the improvement was definitely noticeable.
Yeah, it was. I thought his last run was full of merit. He did work slightly overtime to get there, and then once he did, he didn't have much of a chance to get a bit of a breather in, and he still ran a gallant third. So it was a good run, and now he's got a lot nicer galloping weight in his back, as I said. So he's just going to have a fairly economical run, and there's no reason why he can't reproduce that.
You have fitness on your side, as opposed to a few of the other big names in the race. Horses like Tuchel and Red Lion, they come here fresh. So that fitness edge and the lighter weight of 122 must serve you well.
I think it definitely does. I think if he can get an uncontested leader on front and dictate, he is pretty dangerous off a race run like that, where he can control it. But as I said, if one does want to burn up and take up the running, then more than happy to sit off him.
Of your rides on the weekend, some of the other ones there, Luke. The Absolute in the first, you've done all the work on him, tongue tie on him for the first start. And look, I've liked his trials. Does he give you a good feel, this horse?
Yeah, he's a nice horse. He is still a colt, so I think he is on the big side. You probably have to watch out for that. But his trials have been good. He's got a lovely attitude and temperament about him. So that's served him in good stead. But as I said, he's a nice horse, and he does have a tricky draw of 13, so he's going to need a lot of luck in running. But I definitely like him.
Luke, where's Smiling Collector at the moment? He's going not as well as he can, but his trial did look much better between runs.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tricky customer. He's got a bad tendency of over-racing, and then when he does over-race slightly, he throws a head up and he wants to lay out quite badly. So we brought him back to the 14, hoping that there'll be a bit of a stronger tempo where he can switch off. He does need a lot of things to go his way. But in saying that, he has tried up well, and if he can just bring that trial form to the races, I think he could run a better race than he has been going.
Your final 2 rides, Luke, Superb Move and Up and Up. How do you see their chances on Saturday?
Well, again, I think a couple of my rides they're drawn out near the Shinmun River, but they also need a bit of luck. Superb Move's obviously coming up from Class 5, and he's got a fairly deep draw, and Up and Up also he's got the 13, so they're gonna need help and luck in running to produce a run.
Anyone who gets the Shingmun River onto Racing to Win is welcome anytime on the show. Luke, thanks for joining us with a look at your career so far, your rides on Saturday. Keep up the great riding, and hopefully a few more to come at the Panasonic Cup meeting.
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks.
Big thanks again to Luke Ferraris for giving some time to us here on Racing to Win. These are some of the horses in the Panasonic Cup, though, Nick, that are going to be very keen to roll him, including Circuit Stella, who has been in group races lately. That's California Spangle in the lead, and Encounters down there on the rail. Yeah,
look, it's good form. There's lots of good form around this horse, who has really stepped up to the group race mark now, hasn't he, this horse? And he's usually turned up and run some nice races, notably behind Beauty Eternal if you go back through his form. But look, really good effort this. For me, probably the most eye-catching thing potentially is the fact that Zach Purton rides him. He's got form on the horse, but usually, Paul, he's Tuchel's man, but not this time in.
No, he's on this one as well. Look, his last win was off 93. He's up to 105 rating, and that's because he's been consistent. But being so consistent, he's actually a victim of his own success, because he's got to carry 134 in this.
Nick mentioning Zach on Tuchel normally. Well, it's Hugh Bowman, Paul, who's taking over the ride. Hugh's back from a suspension. He'll be keen to get out there. And what of Tuchel first up? Yeah, well, this is where a good time to catch him. He's been first up 3 times for 2 wins, so we know he does go really well fresh up. Look, just the weight is the little query. He has to go carry 135 against some of these up-and-coming horses. I thought the trial was good. It was good, yeah. No, quite sort of pleased with this trial, and certainly no detriment having Hugh Bowman on board. Good fresh record, good record course and distance. There's ticks in all the right boxes for sure. That's a good report for Tuchel. And Red Lion also first up. Nicky won 4 races last season, including the Hong Kong Macau Trophy. Comes up nicely in barrier number 1 on the back of 3 trials. Yeah, the trials have looked good. Notably this one last time out. I thought he looked really good in this trial. 118 days off games. He's drawn well. Alexi knows him very well. He rose from 71 to 104 last campaign, and he's won half his starts, course and distance. So he was a fast improver, and it might continue, Paul. Yeah, definitely. And look, he's a versatile horse. That Macau Trophy was on a very wet track as well when he did win there. Again, he hasn't won fresh up. That's the only little query I had with him. But the 3 trials is quite telling going into this. It's a really interesting race, isn't it, with the first up runners and those race fit. Who did you finally settle on? Down the bottom, I went with Dancing Code. Dancing Code, just because the conditions of the race is really going to suit this horse. He comes in with 115 pounds. He's slightly out of the handicap, but I thought he had excuse it at his last start. I think he can win with the light weight. Red Lion in there for second ahead of Tuchel, the 2 we just spoke about. And in for 4th, Find My Love, another one that's been very consistent. 8-3-1-7. Yeah, I've gone with Tuchel here. He's the class act in the race. He's got the top weight for a reason, of course, and he does go well fresh and loves this course and distance. Over Red Line, he's stablemates. I'm hoping for a 1-2 there for trainer John Size. Circuit Stella goes in. An additional point on him. He's actually 20 pounds higher than running 3rd in this race last year, so he has certainly come a long way in the last 12 months. And Dancing Code down at the bottom, very intriguing runner. I thought he ran home well last time out. 1-3-2-8. That is the first part of a busy Racing to Win. We're not done just yet. Back for more right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. We're looking at Panasonic Cup Day on a Saturday afternoon at Sha Tin, and we're going straight to the last run reminder right now. And you found one here, Paul. He gets paid the big bucks, Nick, and he's come up with this horse. I know he's your best bet as well, but you don't get paid anywhere near as much as he does. No, I don't. And look, there he is highlighted. Now, look, it is very much a horse sort of on many people's radar, I think, after this. And that's him there in those grey and red colours. He's trained by Pierre Rung, of course, and Zach Purton was riding him on this occasion. You can see there they've gone that little bit faster than the standard. So there was plenty of tempo on. But I feel, Paul, that as the race develops, that's when things really do start to get interesting with him. Yeah, look, he was perfectly ridden there. But once he got into the straight, again, just the way the race panned out, Zach just didn't have nowhere to go there. He looked left, he looked right, he was patient, and then the gap finally did come. And once it came, the horse
in front, had the momentum. He had the easy lead, Wide Blue Yonder, and you can see him really stretching out nicely here and just failing to get up. So, look, I'm sure he's going to race really well, and he'll be tough to beat.
Well, you fell on there. If you go green and white for this segment next time when it runs, relaxing last run reminder.
Okay.
Race number 9 is the second race that we look at on the show. It is a Class 3 over the 1,200 metres, and Super Win Dragon's best form has been on the all-weather. Viva Chalou's had the 3 trials. Super Fortune, a 3-time course and distance winner. Module Construction carries an extra £4 for his last start win. Beauty Waves jumps up in trip from the 1,000 to the 1,200. Mugen Tongue Tie off. Speed Sword makes his debut. Super 10's Move Stables was with Douglas White, now with Michael Cheng, as the blinkers and the tongue tie off and the cross nose band going on. Red Elegance a gear change, cross nose band off, a hood is added. Nick.
Here's the speed map. Super Fortune, a horse we know likes to lead, big strong horse as well, so he could well get himself in the sort of the vanguard and lead early. Champion Method, interesting runner. He's 2 from 2, and he'll be on the speed as well. Red Elegance down at the bottom of the weights has got very little weight to carry on his back. Super 10 and Beauty Waves might be caught a bit deep. Yeah,
look, he's drawn really awkwardly. So he's up in trip. He's coming up from the 1,000 up to the 1,200. Super 10, another one that does like to go forward, but I just think he, with Super Fortune and winning Champion Method in the race, he just might be trapped a little bit wide.
Speaking of Champion Method, Nick was out at Sha Tin earlier today to talk to his jockey, Andrea Retzani.
Andrea, Champion Method, one of your rides on Saturday. He's a perfect 2 from 2, this guy, and he really is developing into a nice horse, isn't he?
He is. I actually sat on him yesterday. He seems like he's definitely grown a lot mentally and physically. He's taking his races on the right way. He's obviously in tomorrow, stepping up to Class 3 level. Obviously with bottom weight, but he's done nothing wrong so far. We're drawn 8, which is okay. Mind you, the last day when we won, I was drawn wide anyway, so he seems pretty straightforward, that way. He doesn't win by far, but he seems to get the job done so far anyway.
And just on his performance last time, I mean, how much did his mental and physical capacity come into play? Because am I right in thinking you were headed, and he really did battle back well, didn't he? Yeah,
he was obviously first when he won over 1,000 metres first time here on the straight course, and first time around the bend. I obviously had to use him quite a bit because I was drawn wide, and we rode him quite prominent. He travelled into the race quite nicely. Like you said, I definitely got headed by the second and third horse, and he came back at them. So hopefully there's a bit more left in the tank with him.
He seems to have that wonderful attitude, doesn't he? He seems to really enjoy his racing, I suppose.
He's a legend. I actually rode him yesterday, and I'll just give him an easy bit, obviously, because he's running tomorrow. And like you wouldn't think is a 1,200 metre horse. You actually wouldn't think he won over 1,000 metres. He go around there, he feels like a miler. He's got that good of a mentality. So let's hope his broken record continues.
I know we always expect it, but have you felt him improve? I know it was only an easy bit of work, as you've touched upon, but have you felt him sort of come on nicely for that win?
He has, yeah. He's got a great mind. He's a very good-looking horse, and with a great attitude, and which, these sort of horses, these young horses, when they've had two hard runs as well, it could go either way. But he seems to be taking his races quite well, and he's got a great attitude, and hopefully he'll go close again tomorrow.
There he is, Andrea Retzani, the rider of a Champion Method. Nick, as we roll on to Module Construction, you can talk about him too, but he was really buzzing about that horse's chances, wasn't he, Andrea?
Yeah, I got the distinct sense that he's very keen on him, and no one wants to brandish the word legend around too much, but I think it was more sort of in jest and likability. But look, he's a very nice horse. Module Construction, on the other hand, he also a very nice horse as well. Look, he's done little wrong, draws a good gate, nice pickup ride for Lyle Hewitts, and here, Paul.
Yeah, he's going places. He's won 2 of his last 3, and he really stuck his neck out and won well, so he's one of the main dangers.
Never finished worse than second in a race. Module Construction. Toronado Phantom, Paul, well rated this night, so he will be again here, and he's one of the 2 greys on the rail turning for home, and they clash again.
Yeah, look, I thought he ran really well here, Toronado Phantom. His last win was of 80. He's down to the 66 rating, so he's more than capable, Nick.
Yeah, very well handicapped horse. Look, we've seen John do it recently and get the win with Red Desert, who was arguably even better handicapped, wasn't he, on his best form. But look, this guy, conditions suit him well. He's on a handy mark, good draw. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think there's plenty to like.
Your thoughts, Nick, on this horse, Beauty Waves? Went into this race as a really short-priced favourite on the back of some impressive trials, and he didn't really give too much.
No, he didn't. And I guess on face value, you could put him down in the sort of disappointing category. But he had to race on the wing there. You can see him with the pink sleeves, and he's got a sort of nice rounded knee action. He's got a nice enough way of going. But look, when it came down to the crunch, he obviously did just lack that little bit of extra gear needed. But he's going open trip, which I think will suit him here.
Yeah, I think that's the key. He looked like he was going to drop right out of it, but he did stay on there for fifth. So I think the extra 200 metres will help this horse. He's drawn wide. That's probably his biggest problem. But look, his trials were so good before he went into the race. You wouldn't sack him on one run.
Stables flying too, that of Douglas White, so he is capable of maybe turning that around. Mugen first up, Paul. Here is a second at his most recent trial. In fact, his trials have looked very good, and he's been given 3 of them by Pierre. Yeah,
just had the 2 starts. He's been in the market at both times, both runs. Mugen, son of Deepfield here. So, look, the all-weather trial here wasn't too bad, and we know that the breed does go well on the all-weather. Tongue tie will come off him.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see him race on the surface. Unacceptable performance last time. The rider was also a bit concerned, so it's only a backward step from debut to second start, but with a bit of luck, he can put that behind him here.
That is A. Emeritus Spexo winning that trial too, and he has franked that on Wednesday night. This man is almost untouchable at the moment, Nick.
Yeah, don't go near him. He's red hot
Yep.
at the moment, Pierre Rong, and you can see there 41.4% top three finishes there. So look, he's in great form.
Yeah, he's going really well, isn't he, Pierre, at the moment? And look, he's really, he's been around for a long time without training as an assistant trainer, and he's just really hit the ground running in the last season and a half or 2 seasons.
Newcomer in the last, Paul, is Speed Sword. What have you made of his trials?
Yeah, his trials haven't been too bad. Speed Sword, he's 1103 pounds, 4 trials he's had here in total. The tongue tie comes on. He comes off here off a maiden win in Australia. Barrier 3, I was happy to watch him though.
Yeah, wasn't that race at Wyong, and that was on sort of a wet track there. But look, I didn't mind his trial. His trials look good. Drawn gate 3, so he gets a kind barrier for his debut here in Hong Kong.
He has struck a really strong race, though, in race number 9. We need your selections.
Going to go with Champion Method to make it 3 in a row. Drops from 132 to 119 up in grade. I think it really suit this horse. Modular Construction will probably start favourite. Then Toronado Phantom and Beauty Waves. 12, 4, 6, 7.
Yeah, gone with the grey here, Toronado Phantom. I think he's going to be a little bit of value to be had in this race. Over Champion Method, who's clearly a very nice horse. Modular Construction has to go in, and Beauty Waves will give him a chance in this as well. 6, 12, 4, 7.
Race-by-race previews on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. Best bet.
Yep, going to go with the one we've just talked about, Champion Method. Thought it was down on the weights is going to be ideal for this horse. He's still got rating points in hand. We can see this race again. He was clearly headed halfway down the straight, and then these other 2 horses really took him on the outside. Champion Instinct, the one the widest, has come out and run really well again since. So it's franked the form up a little bit there, and I just really like the way he fought back. I thought he was going to run 3rd about now, but he just really stuck his neck out, and he really wants to win this horse. So he's the best. The Longshot going to make a first starter, Speed Dragon, coming to the Ross. He's called Keen as a Bean when he raced overseas, and the player of the day being in race 6, 136 QQP, Noble Pursuit, Smiling Collector, and the first starter, Volcanic Spark.
Race 8, number 8 for me, the best bet, Aestheticism here. He was unlucky last time. I think he can go a couple of places better. Here he is, all dressed up and nowhere to go. And once the gap appears for him, he shows a ready turn of foot to go and get as close as he has done at the line. So I think with a smoother run in transit, Pierre Rong's got his horses in cracking form. Zach Purton will be on board once again. He looks to be a strong chance coming up on Saturday's programme. With an extra bound, I think he nearly would have got his head in front there. And the long shot, race 9, number 6, Toronado Phantom, very well handicapped horse in a competitive race. The play, race 10, numbers 3, 6, 14.
Best bet appears as race 10, number 14, Ka Ying Chia. Lightweight finally gets a good draw too. They've been 2 good starts from him. Mugen, race 9, number 9, for an informed Pierre Rong as the long shot. And the play, forecast 14 and 3 in the last. Race 10. That has been Racing to Win for Sha Tin, and we're back at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, Nick.
Yeah, we are indeed. Looking forward to that, and busy day coming up on the weekend.
Yeah, Saturday racing, and then Sunday off, and back into it on Wednesday.
There will be smallcast racing on Sunday if you're in Hong Kong. That has been Racing to Win. We shall join you on your Panasonic TV screens for the first at 1 o'clock Saturday.